Okay. All right, folks. Welcome to the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. I'm Jeff S., a.k.a. TrueKnowledge, co-host of the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. It's Friday, October 3rd. Not that it will matter to you when you catch this, but it's 9:39 p.m. Eastern. And we're here to do Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 7. This is our recap and full panel breakdown. On the guest panel this evening, as always when I'm not moderating, my loyal co-host, veteran content creator, Cyberneticshark, is back with us in a very positive mood tonight as well. Andre's the pop culture guy is always here. He really likes Peacemaker apparently, so he has decided to be on all of the recaps, which we appreciate. And Michael is making his first appearance with us, which we really appreciate. Michael, welcome to the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, brother.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Good to have you. Good to see you. Good to see you for the first time in person. Instead of just Instagram. And so Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 7. Peacemaker Season 2. I just saw some asshole on one of the social media platforms saying that John Cena and a couple other actors from the show should be getting Emmys or whatever for Peacemaker. I think that's a little bit that's a little overdoing it personally. Since this is a superhero show. But listen, Michael, I'll go to you first. I'll get you involved right off the bat. So you have a chance to go ahead and get some words in. What's your take been so far with Peacemaker Season 2 and Peacemaker overall as a show? What were your highlights of Episode 7 or lowlights?
So first off, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the invite. I'm pretty excited to be on, so thank y'all very much for that. But I really enjoyed Peacemaker Season 1, so when I heard Season 2 was coming out, I was actually pretty hyped about it. I know some of my co-hosts for the podcast, they were kind of like, meh. But I was pretty hyped about it, and this so far seems better than Season 1 to me. I feel like this is way more connected than, the downfall of the Snyderverse. And that's not, throwing shade at the Snyderverse or nothing like that. It was just, it was literally like it was out the door. So it really didn't matter. Downfall wise, I think it's like.
You mean the overall connection of like the new DCU or whatever with Gunn and all that and everything. You're not talking about this Peacemaker.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying Peacemaker is really connected to this new Gunn DCU. Like, it's, that's what I'm enjoying about it. I'm enjoying how much more connected this is, and how they're doing it. So, and then, and as far as like the downfall of this is the fact that like we've only got 8 episodes. Where I thought they were going and where I thought we were going to like end up, it doesn't seem like we're going to end up that way. And yeah, I'm kind of sad to see it go. So I think the pacing is a little different than the last season, and so like I think that's throwing me off more too.
Yeah, I think Andres has mentioned it before. We've all talked about. I think lots of our guests have mentioned the pacing of Season 2 has been different. I've talked about it too. I think the pacing of Season 1 is actually much more enjoyable. The sort of speed rate, kind of fast paced, pacing that they have, where everything's go during Season 1.
Well, how much we're getting too. Like, I feel like the episodes on Season 1 were a lot longer than this. These were like 30-minute episodes and we're done.
They were.
I'm like, bruh, what are you doing?
I was amazed at how short Episode 7 was. I figured for sure it would be long after having short ones,
Yeah.
Right before that. But Andre's the pop culture guy, sir. What were your highlights and your lowlights for Episode 7?
Okay. Lowlights is too short. Then second lowlight, it was I kind of hope we had more connection from the DC stuff, but that's okay. And then third is just hopefully they can stick the landing for this season. Not a big fan. I think this season is still quality season of TV. It's just I don't think it can beat the first season because I love that first season.
So are you one of those? Are you one of those like super excited DC fans that I talk about arguing with all the time or whatever that feels like there needs to be some kind of big cameo in Peacemaker Season 2 in order for it to be,
No, I'm a very neutral DC fan who is excited for this universe, but as a Batman fan, I'm waiting for more Batman stuff. So I'm
some asshole on Threads actually said to Gunn on Threads is Batman potentially going to be in episode 7 or 8 or whatever?
Oh
and I'm like, bro, you're a
No.
DC fan. You know there is no Batman right now.
No, there's no way we're gonna get that.
Those are the kind of things people put up on there, dude. You wonder why I get upset.
But don't get upset. Don't look at it. Why do you want to go into those conversations, sir? That's my biggest question. Why do you want to do that? Anyway, now, first highlight, I gotta say, is Judah Master. Great character. Very happy he got more to do this season. I thought his interaction with Waller's daughter was really great. I mean, them doing the scrubble was hilarious. I just love that. And I love it's this weird repetitive conversation he has, oh yeah, I killed people in pool before. It was 4, but now I got 8, that was so hilarious.
Judo Master had the best dialogue in the show.
Yeah, the best dialogue.
In the episode, yeah.
Yeah. And then, second highlight is Robert Patrick, man. Robert Patrick, great actor. He's such an underrated actor. Love him. I mean, of course, he's...
Did you know that he's on that Amazon Prime Reacher show too? He's the main villain on that.
Oh yes, I do know that. He's in season 2, I think, or 3. I need to. I don't know what season he's in, but yes, he's in that show. I haven't seen that show. I need to see it. Anyway, he's a great actor. Love him. He's in. Of course, he's one of the Terminator villains for Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and he's such a great actor. And I was so happy when Gunn was going to work with him in this show as the father of Peacemaker, and he was great last season. So when this season was about the Earth 2 stuff, I was like, and he really blew his performance to this episode. I thought he was the highlight, and I'm very excited to talk more about that. And then third highlight is Chase, fiction acting. He's a great character. Love it. I love his double. We got double Chase, and they're so funny. And despite how different the other one is, it's they're still the same. And I thought they really added to this episode. So those are my 3 highlights of this episode 7, and lows as well.
Most definitely. I was going to say something, but I totally forgot what I was going to say. To be completely honest with you. Judo Master. He was hilarious. He really was sort of like the MVP. He brought the only humor to the episode. And when he said, yeah, I'd be down to go kill some cops or whatever right there at the end, it's just so Judo Master for him to say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh god, that killed me.
He's actually really a really valuable, really funny, solid secondary character on the show.
Yeah.
Who doesn't really have a set role. He's not a hero or a villain. You know what I mean? He's kind of whatever.
Yeah. No. He's very important. And I say before, a couple weeks ago, that it's cool that Judah Master is another Charleston character from that line where Peacemaker came from.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see characters get beat up and fight with, certain characters or whatever in the show, and then later on in the show, get along with them later on, and become kind of friends or whatever, you know what I mean, or help each other, that sentiment always works. So, Cyber, what are your highlights and lowlights for episode 7?
I don't really feel there was any highlights I felt were that great for this episode. Other than it continued the story. I feel that majority of this episode was just kind of a letdown. I did think that Cena did a good job breaking down at the end of the episode. But at the same time, I can't believe they brought back 2 characters and did stuff with them again. And it was kind of like, this is stupid. Why would you bring it back just to kill them off again? So it was just kind of, for me, it was kind of a crappy episode. It was, I thought a filler episode that kind of took care of the cliffhanger. But at the same time, I don't think there was really any highs for this. I do agree, Judo Master is freaking hilarious. And I think that the 2 vigilantes are absolutely fantastic, too. Other than that, I think that the episode was pretty crap.
Well, that's surprising. That's a rare opinion. Of course, I mean, amongst like major DC fans, they just eat Peacemaker up. They think everything that happens with Peacemaker is great. I honestly never thought I never thought of episode 7 as feeling fillerish when I watched it at all. To be honest with you, although it was really short, like really really short, which really shocked me and surprised me. I never really felt filler vibes, Cyber. I'll be honest with you. I felt like somewhat important events and things did occur and did happen. You know what I mean? And did push the storyline forward. You know what I'm saying? To hopefully some sort of resolution of the season of some kind in episode 8, right? Of this current storyline. But if that's your opinion, Cyber, then I respect that, and I would certainly agree that I think that episode 7 is disappointing to me in terms of what my expectations were for it. I expected more from the episode. I didn't have to have a big cameo of some big, new character or whatever. I just wanted a nice long episode that moved the story forward. But all right, so the episode title is Life, A Keith in the Night. It is directed by Alethea Jones, and it is written by Gunn. And the synopsis for the episode starts off with Chris and Harcourt escape Argus before Augie and Keith corner them and take them back to the Smiths mansion. At the same time, Judo Master rescues Adebayo. Meanwhile, Flag Sr. and Bordeaux work with Sidney Hepperson, a former Luther Corp employee, to locate the dimensional rift at Adrian's house. So I'll stop there. Obviously, a lot of other stuff kind of occurred during that portion right there. And I'll just expect you guys to kind of fill in those gaps, as I ask you to, give me your thoughts on that section of the episode, right? Some of the stuff that, I maybe didn't mention that did kind of happen. But basically, we did get the really good, Judo Master rescuing Adebayo scene. We did see, the escape from Argus by Carhart and Chris, and then of course Augie and Keith, stepping in and killing off all those cops and shit like that, everything to bring them back to the mansion, right? And then they do go ahead and in 2 seconds, they're able to work with Luther's guy and figure out where the rift is at Adrian's house. So I will go to you first, Cyber. What are your thoughts on that section of the episode, sir?
Not gonna be?
Yes, Cyber.
Okay. What was the question? I totally missed it. I was off in La La Land. Sorry.
Oh, come on, man. I just went over the entire thing.
Just give me the end point.
The end point, it's starting from where Chris and Harcourt escape Argus before Augie and Keith corner them and take them back to Smith's mansion, going all the way out to when Flag Senior and Bordeaux are able to go ahead and work with the Luther Corp, employee guy that Luther hooked up, and they're able to locate the dimensional rift to Adrian's house. That's the end point.
Okay. So, I mean, the beginning of the episode is pretty good because there's a lot of action that goes on. Basically, the father explains to Keith, that this Chris is not their Chris, that their Chris is dead. The action sequence at Argus was pretty cool. Them flying through the windows was pretty fun. And her riding on the back of the bike, holding on to him, and he's like in the moment was absolutely hilarious too. But then when both of them showed up to basically try to cover up that they have that portal, and grab them, I thought was pretty interesting. And then, them taking them back to their mansion and, asking them, what they know and stuff like that, I thought was kind of interesting too. And, I think, the whole Judo Master, Adebayo thing is pretty funny, especially that he pops up and helps her out when all those people are chasing after her. and then they go and play Scrabble at that house that he found, which was pretty funny. And then, of course, my favorite line, of course, is him. He's like, "Hey, all the things I am, minority, gay, and I forget what the other one was." But I was just like cracking up, like, what a hilarious line. But at the same time, I was like, really? Did he just call himself gay? I'm like, wow, just add that to insult to the poor guy. I mean, he's already a midget, and he looks like freaking like he should be from I don't know, like Munchkinland. I mean, I think he's shorter than you, Andreas. I think. I mean, he's going super toxic Avenger sort midget man. So I mean, I think that that was pretty funny. That was like probably one of the funniest lines I thought. But overall, I think that this section is pretty decent. I think it was the best part of the episode, especially with all the action that happened in it. And there definitely was some funny moments there in this sequence. But yeah, I would have to say when Judo Master kind of gives you some more insight into who he is, that cracked me the hell up hardcore. So super funny. So yeah, decent part of the episode.
Okay, thank you, Cyber. Michael, same to you, sir. What are your thoughts on that section?
I felt like it gave us a little bit of everything. We got like tender moments with Harcourt and Chris on the bike. See, I thought they were more tender moments than I thought funny, but I mean, to each their own kind of thing. But yeah, starting off the episode with those two and the fight scene, I was like, yes, this is awesome. This is the way to go right here. And, you venture off into, you catch up with Adebayo and how she's running away from everybody and she jumps in the pool. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, I would think that'd slow you way down jumping in the pool. Like, why are you doing that? And then you see Judo Master come out and he's got these giant cables in his hands and he just fries. Gets Adebayo out, of course, first and then fries everybody in the pool. And they come back and they're talking about it and they're like, hey, those are telephone wires. Those are the biggest damn telephone wires I think I've ever seen in my life, number one. And number two, like 5 volts I think go through telephone wire. Like it's not a lot. So yeah, I don't know, I was shocked by the telephone wire thing. I thought that was kind of funny. I love the connection that we have with Adebayo and with Judo Master. I thought that was really good. Her apologizing like, hey, if I knew you were such a cool guy, I wouldn't have tasered you so many times. And I was like, yes. What else? We had
yeah, she tased the fuck out of Judo Master.
Right? Oh, you can't forget about Economos this whole time. He's spilling the beans, but then going back and saying, I didn't say anything. He's crazy. I don't know what I'm doing. And then they're like, shut up. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry. And he's tied up. I thought Economos' scenes were pretty funny to me. And then of course Adrian.
He didn't get much play in this episode.
No.
This wasn't an Economos episode.
Right. But I mean, it's just he's sitting there, he's messing with Eagly when he's like, "Hey, go kill him!" And Eagly's just kind of walking away.
There's only so much screen time for so many characters in these short episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But I mean, when he was there, it was funny to me. Who else? We talked Adrian. I feel like Adrian didn't have a whole lot until the end there, and when he did, like when he was there, it was badass. And I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Who am I forgetting?
That's right. We do see some Adrian there in the beginning as well. Yeah, we do see them.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I had fun. I thought it was great.
Oh, well, don't mind Cyber, sir. Cyber just, when it boils down to it, if he's not feeling an episode, you know what I mean, that he doesn't let loose, you know?
Oh, no, I'm not at all. Whatever. I mean, people like what they like and people dislike what they dislike. That's one of the elements of our shows, that we have every week is that when we have different creators coming out all the time, a lot of times we do have a lot of differing opinions, in terms of, how much some people come on and like some, an episode of a show, Yeah.
Versus some of us, on the other hand, who might hate it,
Right. Well, I mean, that makes a good show, though. If everybody's saying the same thing, it's boring as fuck, so.
Yeah, well, most definitely. So, Andre's the pop culture guy, sir. I'm sure you've got a nice 10-minute long, contribution, right? So,
yeah, sure. No, I kind of agree with everyone. The opening of this episode was really fun. I mean, it was very intense because we were picking up where the last episode was. You know, now that we know that Earth 2 was this, now that the Nazi won World War II in this Earth. So, like, this part,
you got to admit, it is kind of actually cool to see like the Nazi Earth. You know what I'm saying? Because like in a weird kind of like way, you know, like it's always been like a burning question for some people that that are into World War II. Like, what would have happened if the Germans won? You know, so it's kind of interesting to see it. You know?
Yeah, and well, and you know, as a DC fan, I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, as one of our Jesse from last week, you know, brought up before, you know, this is a very recurring thing in the DC universe. You know, if you weren't like, you didn't read the comic books or the Arrowverse, which they already dealt with one of their like crossover called the Crisis on Earth X, you know, this is a common thing in terms of the DC multiverse like storylines they always have. So it was really cool. For me, this beginning was the most funniness the show has gotten to be, you know, during this season. Because I do agree with you, Jeff. Everything is kind of like it makes sense, you know. As a sequel, it's going to be darker, right?
I didn't feel like they injected a lot of humor into episode 7. I felt like they kind of like went light with the humor, you know.
Yeah, but it wasn't like after like your stomach laughing. It was more of like you know, just chuckle funny, like, oh, you know, like Chris not noticing like all the like clues that like they were in a Nazi world, you know, like the mirror, the flag, and then I don't know what else that Harcourt brought up, but it was hilarious during that scene where he kind of like, oh, this is the perfect dimension, and why you didn't notice all these like obviously clues about this really odd dimension you went to. So that was funny, and what
happened in the last episode, Andres?
Yeah, but that was like 1 minute of the flag, and then that's it. And then we got more clues, you know, of it. But anyway, forget about that, Jeff. Forget about it. Anyway, Jury Master is funny. Oh, speaking of the height, Cyber, he's actually shorter than me. He's only 5'0", so because I think 5'1" or 5'2". But
I'm surprised he's even 5 feet. To be honest with you.
I mean, yeah.
They must make him look really small, probably. Because he looks like he's 4'5" or some shit.
No, you're saying that he looks taller, but yeah, because I think he's wearing boots that kind of make him a little taller. Some of our characters, but
he's a tiny guy.
I mean, he is tiny. But you know, him saving Waller's daughter was great, and then like I kind of agree with you. Podcast that like. How did he find those wires was kind of funny. I was like, where did he get these like big these wires? Like did he climb up and like took them out or something like that? And then he electrified all those like, you know, mob people in the pool, which was cool. I was like not expecting that. That was a really cool kill. And really like their, you know, chemistry, those two. I totally forgot.
I like what he said. Like, what did he say when he shocked them? He said some like, you know, funny like line or whatever, you know.
Oh, I can't remember. He did say something, but the part was because you brought up the taser. I forgot she did chase him last season. It was funny. He's like, I like how he's pretty young. Like you. She
tased him for like a good like solid 2 or 3 minutes straight.
2 minutes straight. Yeah, it was funny. He's just like constantly bringing that again, just like he did to John in the like a couple episodes ago. It's like, how do you remember you smashed me in your car? And it's like, yeah, I did. It was great. And like,
no, John hit him with that fucking tire iron. Remember?
Well, yeah, no, no. Dream Master say that, and then also that as well, like simultaneously during that conversation. No worries. No, he mentioned those two things.
Dude, there's no way that Judo Master is not somehow quasi metahuman or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's legitimately. I'm not trying to go on a tangent, Andres, but I gotta point this out. He's legitimately like taken more brutal physical punishment, you know what I'm saying, of any character on the show. You know what I mean? He's been shot, stabbed, you know, fucking everything. You know what I mean? He's been practically dead almost, you know what I mean? You know, like, and come back to life afterwards, you know what I'm saying? And bounce right back. He bounces right back from all of his injuries, you know what I mean? He gets fucking like hurt, like where his body gets all contorted and shit and smashed into trees and shit like that. And he just gets back up and fucking keeps on rolling. You know what I mean? There's no way he's just a regular human.
Well, sir, I mean, yeah, I agree, but you have to disbelieve, sir, because this is a TV show. It's not serious. I like
They haven't explained his origin at all. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like who he is or what he is.
which I mean, I'm fine with. I mean, you don't need to know.
He's not a comic book character, is he?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes, he.
Is he? Okay, he is.
Yeah, he is. It's just that Gunn hasn't had a chance to like expand his character. I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's not a metahuman in the comic books. When I did my research on him, in the
No, I mean, it's always possible that he could just be one of those tough motherfuckers that can take a lot of punishment, you know?
Yeah, and that's realistic too. I mean,
like Peacemaker. Peacemaker's not meta.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a problem with with that. And just wrapping up, I thought that seeing the former Luthor Court employee we saw from the first Superman movie this year, that was a really cool touch. I really like that. Oh, the ship that we saw from that movie too, that was cool that they brought that back up. And he's a good friend of James Gunn. He's actually in some of his projects like the Guardians films. He's the guy that Drax hold tight or hold hostage to Cold Rodon in the first Guardians film to trap him in nowhere. So he's a recognized actor. It was good that he came back because he's another Superman like obscure character that was created by John Byrne during the Crisis reboot of Superman during the 80s. So I like that kind of detailed. I kind of agree with Mike here about I agree with you that I like that this season it's more connected to the shared universe. Yes, because last season, I like the first season was self-contained. It was it connected to Gunn's Suicide Squad movie, but at the same time, I did want these shows to be connected to the universe, and I like that this season we got Superman, so it makes sense that this season we're we're connected now in this new universe, which I like. So it was a nice, neat thing because in the Superman comic books, just quickly, there's a lot of Luthor employees that do become major characters in Superman or in general DC universe. So just building onto that, this episode is just showing you that there's what Luthor did in that Superman movie is affecting what's going on right now. And I like his cameo. He was funny. I like how he was talking to Flag. It's what I'm gonna get out of this, and I just like how Rick displayed, look, if you're not going to do this, I'm going to tell your boss that you're not cooperating. And he's like, okay, this really show how this version of Lex is really scary, as we saw in the movie, which I like. But yeah, I love this opening. It was a good pickup from last week's episode, which I like. And I really like the what do you say? There's just quickly Chase talking to his partner, his variant from Earth 2, and explaining World War II we won, the Americans, and then he said no, the Nazi won in my universe, and then I love the end point when he say I need to pick up my friend who's black, and it's oh no, we need to get out of here now, let's go. That was a fun end point there. So yeah, really great opening, love it. I agree. I kind of agree with Cyber. I don't like this episode. It's not the worst. It's just what's the word?
I think as the episodes have been so short, I think you're starting to talk about previous episodes during the this episode's recap.
Because it is short. But as a TV as a viewer, this supposed to be your what's the word? Penultimate episode before your finale. And for this penultimate episode, it didn't feel like it. And I'm just kind of worried about that, because if it tells me that you needed to have more episodes to tell your story this season, then I'm a little concerned about the finale we're going to get next week. But I feel like I can understand where Cyber's coming from, because when I was finishing it, I was really, we got that's it. You want this to be a 1 hour episode to like lead up your season 2 finale, right? So we'll get into that and my rating of it later on. But like, it's very odd how Gunn is doing that, and that's my whole issue with this season is the pacing of it, or not the pacing of it. It's just the structure of your story of this season. Like you're doing this.
Well, pace is a part of the structure of the story.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, like, we'll get into it more later down the episode. But yeah, I as a viewer, I never seen this before. Like every show we review, there's like at least the episode before the finale, they at least like ramp you up. Like, okay, what we're gonna wrap up, what we're gonna leave open, right? And this episode, I was like, it was like another week of episode. Like, I was like, oh, here's another piece. Like, I was like, what? That's weird. And like, I understand where Cyber's coming from. Where like, it's not like a filler episode. It's more like, oh, here's like we're moving on to the storyline. Like we close up things from this episode, but it feels like we're like it's so weird. Like we're not closing up this storyline. Like it's weird. But
so we're not at the end of the episode yet.
No. I'm just discussing just in general feeling of this like this episode with Cyber, sir. But anyway, go ahead. Go to your 60 minutes, sir.
Anyways, yes, sir. Pacing is an important element of show structure, sir. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to match the pacing, to fit in with the structure. You know what I'm saying? So it is an important element, I believe. But all right. So it says basically here from Wikipedia that Augie and Keith interrogate Chris, but are interrupted by the cops looking for Chris. The two vigilantes meet with Adebayo and Judo Master outside of the Smith house. Augie allows Chris and his friends to leave the dimension despite Keith's protests. Adrian sneaks up on and kills Augie, to Chris and Keith's horror, and the kids head to the portal. I'll stop there. And I'll go to Michael this time to start. What are your thoughts on that section of the episode, sir? That's a big chunk I just gave you right there.
No, yeah. I like the interaction with Augie and Keith and Chris and all of them standing there and like actually fleshing it out and slowly but surely realizing that like Augie's not a bad guy in this. That, we had a whole season of how Augie is just a piece of shit. And then you go into this, and then Nazi land, you're kind of like, Augie's got to be the same. And then you realize that, like, oh, like, he's actually, like, kind of not. But he doesn't know what to do to, like, make the world better, is what it seems like to me, anyways. And so, like, I don't know, I feel like they did a really good job of making that scene of when Vigilante comes in and, like, just freaking shanks, essentially, Augie, like just a gut-wrenching scene of like, no, like don't do that. And the whole stuff outside, like talking about killing the cops and all this other jazz and like that, like I'm not down for cop killing, but just their interaction, their talking or whatever was just funny. Just the stuff and how they were talking about it and debating about it and all this other jazz. It was with Adebayo and the two vigilantes and Judo Master. That junk was just all funny to me. And what else? Yeah, Keith surprised me, like how he was very adamant about like, yo, he killed my brother, all this other kind of stuff, and I was just like, I don't know, that shocked me how he really turned on like our Chris quick. So
okay, so is that all you got?
Yeah, that's
all right. Michael is a short and sweet and very keeps it tight on the panel when it comes to his contributions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I understand. Sometimes some of us, like myself, or Andres, even Cyber, occasionally, we go into 60-minute man mode. Here and there, and.
I haven't made my way to a soapbox yet, so once I get there, I'll probably do a filibuster.
Andres has gone on like tangents before. We're like, he crosses over like into like other fucking movies and TV shows and shit like that have nothing to do with the TV show you're covering and stuff like that. Like, you know,
of multitasking. Like
you're known. You're known for that. Cyber knows it. I know it. We've been here. We've seen you do it multiple times in the past. You cross over into other like fucking franchises or movies that don't even have anything even connected or anything like that to like the TV show that we're covering. You know what I mean?
Mike, I was trying. So every time it was my turn, I always try to like rope in other movies to explain what it is, like how it's connected.
Yeah.
And sometimes this fool here, Mr. Death,
or you find ways to randomly insert Batman, some kind of Batman shit or whatever. You'll like you'll inject Batman into some movie review we're having or whatever.
I'm a Batman fan. I do whatever I can.
No, look, there's nothing wrong with that. If you love Batman so much that like you actually like view television episodes of other shows and stuff like with other characters like it with the prism of Batman or some shit, good for you, you know?
Yes. He's just jealous that I could do so good job of including Batman into our.
All right, Andres, it's your turn, sir, on that big chunk of episodes that I just spewed out.
Yeah. Okay. So the big section was I agree with Mike. The whole I was surprised that Agi was a good guy. You know, like I was kind of thinking maybe there's going to be some dark side to this character. You know, because of the previous version we had in last season and all that, right? But I was shocked that he was a good guy, and that he didn't have a choice about his world, and the outcome it became when the Nazis won World War II, and and he did. I just love like
I as like a World War II nerd, I would have loved a backstory on how the Germans won the war. You know what I mean, and how they managed to cross the Atlantic or whatever and like beat America, you know what I'm saying, and take over America and all that kind of shit. How they would have accomplished that would have been very interesting to know.
There's I'm surprised you haven't seen this show called or this story called.
I mean, I've seen the documentaries and the videos on YouTube and stuff where like historians talk about what Germany's plans were. You know what I'm saying? Those plans were to fight America. You know what I mean? And to take over America and all that. I've seen all that.
No. I know you know that. I'm talking about this science fiction story where it tells this like alternative universe where the Nazis they won. It's called The Man in the High Castle. Great story. I heard about it. I think you will like that, Jeff.
There's like a Prime version of it. It's like Prime has a TV show based off of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Amazon Prime has it, but So yeah.
So it's like a universe set like Earth 2 where like Germany won the World War II, and it's like President America then.
Yes, exactly, and it's a really good story I heard, and I think you will like it. I might say before it's in Prime, I think, but so after Keith is talking, and comedy is not the right word for this show. It's dark comedy. That's the thing I like about the show. It's very dark comedy. It's something like from a Tim Burton or something like the Coen Brothers. It's supposed to be funny, but you should not laugh at it because how just dark it is sometimes. But it's just so funny how they did it. You gotta keep doing this inspiral speech about who he is, and I don't know, I can't remember the speech he was doing, but it was so uplifting. And then you see Chase in the window, and he looks at he sees Keith, and then because he failed to kill him in his universe, and I don't know if that's Earth 1 Chase or Earth 2, but he comes out of the window and stabs Keith so brutally. I was like, whoa, I did not expect that, and him getting killed right away was a big shock. And
the dad got stabbed.
Yeah, the dad. Yeah, that's his name. Let me just double check the name. Yeah, Augie. Sorry, Augie. My bad. Sorry, but I had to keep up these names. There's so many names I have to keep on my mind with other shows. But anyway, sorry. So Augie, My bad. So Uggy, the father, getting stabbed by Chase, was darkly comedic and like very shocking, especially for Peacemaker. And like, I wonder what's going to happen to him with this relationship with him and Chase, because he's the one that killed his second father. How that's going to be if we get a season 3, whatever. But like overall, I thought that was kind of crazy, and I thought the action scene here was really great.
He won't blame Chase because it was a fucked up situation. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how Peacemaker is. He's a really laid back guy.
Sure. I mean, yeah, laid back is correct, but not for this kind of person. But we'll see. I don't know what Gandhi is going to touch that or not, but whatever. But seeing the two Chase helping our heroes like escape from the portal was really neat. Like, I mean, of course they do a good job with the gunfight, because sometimes you could get very like out of zone with that, but like it's well choreographed, it's well shot, so I really dug that. And I was surprised that Keith the brother, Keith the brother surviving, and like the fact that Hardcore failed to kill him. That was interesting.
We didn't go that far, sir.
Oh, how far?
I stopped before going that far.
Oh my god! But anyway, good.
It's okay, sir. You always go over. It's never a problem.
No, because it's your fault to not explain the endpoints.
I clearly defined the fucking section of the episode. But it is totally understandable that while you're sitting there being patient and listening to the guest talk and all that, you may have kind of just, forgotten, It's very possible.
I plead the fifth.
I understand,
We'll plead the fifth.
No, all right. All right. Cyberneticshark, sir, wrap us up on this round. What are your thoughts on that big kind of middle section, if you want to call it that I dropped there?
What's the end point?
The end point was right when Augie gets stabbed by Adrian or whatever, right then.
Okay. So I mean, this section it's okay. It's nothing I really thought was anything that fantastic. I mean, this big section, of course, is when unfortunately we have the killing of, Peacemaker's father again. We have, Keith getting injured. We have, fighting going on. We have Vigilante going all over the place and kicking butt. He crashes through the freaking window and stabs the father, which I was like, oh God. I'm like, Vigilante, you fucking idiot. I'm like, oh, why? And I'm like, they bring him back to make him so much better than his version in his universe. Even though he is in this Nazi universe, he still is better than the person he was in the other universe. And I'm like, really? You're going to kill the better version of his father? I'm like, seriously? Come on. And so, it just kind of pissed me off, because I'm like, why have him die in the first season? Bring it back to kill him again in this season. It just, to me, was stupid writing.
That's
sorry.
Gun. That's Gun, Cyber. Blame Gun.
Goddamn Gun sometimes, I swear. It's kind of like having Michael Rooker in all his films and killing him off, too.
Don't bash Gun too bad, sir. He made Suicide Squad, sir. That's a really good movie.
It's an okay movie. I still like the 2016 one better. So I think that,
What? Did you actually just say that you like the 2016 one better?
Yes! I fucking did.
God. We respect you. Just keep going.
Oh my God.
We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah, we don't judge.
That's a new take, Cyber. I had no idea that you took that stance, sir. But good for you.
Yeah. Anyways, the director's cut of that film is far superior to the theatrical cut they put out. So give it a try, kind of like the Schneider cut. Anywho, that doing that and then having Keith get injured and almost die, I was like, oh, good God, this is just like his universe. How does this make it any better? To me, it does not. It doesn't do anything. All of them together in that building is pretty funny as hell. I think having Lachlan Moreau pop back up as the same cop he was in the first season is absolutely fantastic. Love that. You know, and you know,
he was a great insertion into the show, I thought, right?
Yes. And so it was nice to see him pop up again. That was really great. I think that, you know, just this whole sequence is like butt fuckery, in my opinion, with what they do. And, you know, thankfully, you know, at least one survived. But I mean, leading up to Condenser getting stabbed was kind of interesting too, because I mean, it's kind of like, what the hell is going on here? Why'd you do that, Vigilante? You're an idiot. And you know, his whole time, as you think about it, you're looking at Peacemaker and how he's kind of losing his shit, and you're like going, "Holy crap!" Cena is trying to be more serious here. He's trying to be more, you know, act more, you know, versus him just playing, you know, Peacemaker. And that was kind of shocking. I was kind of like, wow, they're actually trying to go for a little bit of emotional feel here. And I was like, okay, I kind of feel the vibe there. I get that a little bit, you know, Gunn. Okay, I got to give it credit there a little bit. You know, basically bringing this world to, you know, meet up with, you know, his normal world. And, you know, I think that overall it had some good action in it other than stupidity. But other than that, I thought it was okay. Nothing that great. Was very pissed off at this section, and I just wish it had gone differently.
You know, I now that I think about it for like a minute or whatever, you know, I was saying earlier, you know, in the studio before the show that, you know, some dumbass guy that I already don't like online on Threads was saying that like all these different, you know, actors from Peacemaker should get Emmy nominations with all this shit. And I was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? In all honesty, you know, like I can see in you know, a place where like it's a possibility that's, you know, maybe, I don't know, John Cena could get very lucky and maybe he could get nominated. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I don't think it would honestly happen. But if there was one actor from the show that would get nominated, he's the main character. You know what I'm saying? You know, like he's the lead man. He would get the nomination, you know, if anybody did get nominated. But I just don't think that Peacemaker as a show, I'm sorry, especially season 2, because I think season 1 was a better season for me. You know, especially season 2, I just don't think there's anything about Peacemaker that's Emmy nomination material. You know, I'm sorry. Like, nothing against all the DC fans that love Peacemaker and live and die to it and all that. It's a good show, but it's not at the level of a lot of other high-level TV shows out there. It's just not, you know. It's a superhero TV show. That's what it is, right? So, you know, but yeah, seeing fucking Augie get stabbed like that was goddamn crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, Adrian's ruthless, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like when he like gets going or whatever, you know, like he is a ruthless motherfucker. I love that about him. You know what I mean? You know, but I don't know, Andres. Honestly, I don't think Peacemaker's. I think Peacemaker's going to have other shit going on. You know what I'm saying, in the near future. You know, that's going to be more important probably than like being pissed off at Adrian for stabbing his, you know, alternate dimension dad. You know what I mean? You know, like let's be honest. He killed his own Earth dad. You know, so I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? He killed his fucking dad.
Yeah, good point.
You know, his dad might have been a racist piece of shit, you know what I mean? But he's still, you know, like, Chris still killed him.
But that still messed Chris up, though. They didn't really explore that a whole lot in this season. No. But, like, he was seeing him there at the end, and they made reference to it. But,
it's extremely emotional to imagine, like, you know, like, being Peacemaker and watching, like, seeing the good Augie, you know, get fucking stabbed to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's totally, like, understandable why that would be, like, really traumatic. You know what I mean? You know? Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, though, still, that it is an alternate dimension. And you know, and Chris knows that at the end of the day. You know what I mean? He knows that this is not his home place. Like, you know, his home Earth. Yeah. You know? You know, you can't cross dimensions and not know that. You know what I mean?
But he also had committed to it, though, too, before they came over. Like, he was done. He closed the door behind him and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you never know what could have happened. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know? But it was obvious from the minute that they started showing Earth 2 on the show that something was off. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
There was no way, like, unless you knew the comic book, deal, there was no really way to immediately connect it to Nazis. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was obvious that there was no Hispanic, no black, you know what I mean? Like, no Asian actors or characters on Earth 2 at all. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, so wrapping up this extremely, extremely short episode. I have no idea how many actual minutes it was because I did not see it on Max when I pulled up the episode. I did not notice or see that they had it right there. It might have been too small and I just didn't see it.
It was like 32 if I remember right. Like it was.
Yeah, it was 33.
Is that all it was? It was 32 minutes?
Yeah, it was very short.
That's
really short.
That's the shortest episode of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised.
Well, come on, Andres. How many times have we seen bad episode 7s? You know what I'm saying? Or bad episode 5s, before finales. You know what I mean?
None.
It happens. It happens. How many times have we seen really, really bad? Remember Dead City?
Oh, okay. Good point. But I don't want to remember Dead City. Yeah. Mike, you're lucky. You didn't have to watch that.
You have to remember it. You reviewed the fucking show, bro. It doesn't really, you know what I'm saying?
Sir, I'm trying to block Dead City in my mind.
I almost bought that because it's on sale for Blu-ray. It's like $12.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, I might buy that.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't really know if you want to make that investment. To be honest with you, you're better off if they have Daryl Dixon. Get Daryl Dixon.
Yeah, I want that too. Yeah, because I haven't watched any of those.
Oh my God, Daryl Dixon is a really good show. You will like.
You'll like Daryl Dixon. Daryl Dixon is really good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really
Oh yeah. And
that's why it's not on sale.
and Carol joins the show in season 2. So
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Daryl and Carol.
Yeah.
There you go, baby. We covered The Walking Dead here on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge.
Oh, God.
We still do. 18 years later, we're covering what's left of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Except for Cyber. Cyber did not want to be a part of the Walking Dead spin-off review universe.
Yeah, it's just the two of us.
No, I didn't say I didn't want to be a part of it. I'm just that far behind.
I know, sir. I get it. I understand. You did not. You would not have understood the characters or know who they were or anything like that and all that. So that would make it very difficult to watch and review the shows. I get that. That is totally understandable. All right. So back to the episode. So Keith pursues them. The kids heading to the portal. And is severely injured by Eagly, who steps in and fucking pulls off some crazy Eagly violence. Adrian and Harcourt, before a traumatized Chris, stops them from killing him and admits that he feels responsible for all the deaths that occur around him. After fighting off cops, the kids and Judo Master run back to their dimension and shut the portal down, but are confronted by Argus waiting outside of Adrian's house. Chris hands over the device to Flag and gives himself up for arrest. And that is the end of the episode. So, Cyber, I'll go right back to you, sir. I'll let you start off this one, okay? What are your thoughts on the ending?
I mean, basically, it was, kind of stupid, honestly. I mean, them going back and, basically giving, Argus the teleportation device. I mean, that was smart on their part, but at the same time, it's like Chris taking all the blame and everything is kind of dumb because in the long run, they could have worked on something to get himself out of it. And yet he didn't do anything like that. He just decided, I'm just going to turn myself in, which was definitely out of character, I felt, for him. And especially after him being in jail for all those years, especially, in Suicide Squad. And we saw that in the back, the memory lane stuff. And, I think that, him, basically being taken aback was kind of a dumb ending to the ending of this episode, but which will probably lead into a crazy climactic, finale, hopefully. But I think overall, how it ends, it's pretty basic and to the point. Like, I don't feel they really drag anything out. They don't really do anything much. It's like they go through the door after trying to get away from the police in that universe. Boom. Argus is there. They give themselves up. It was like real simple and basic.
Hey, 32 minutes, Cyber.
Yeah. So being really short, they had so much more they could explore to make the episode better. And I think in that short window, unfortunately, it just did not help this episode out at all. And I think that's the reason why I felt it was fillerish to me, because of how short it was, how much they packed into the short minutes that didn't really fully could have gone and explained everything. So, I think that, they could have done so much more with this episode. I feel majority of the episodes this season, they could have made longer, at least 45 minutes. At least 47 minutes. That would have been a better runtime for these so that they could really flesh out things and give you a better story. Because if anybody has a problem with the storyline throughout this season, is because of how short they are. It's because they pigeonhole themselves into being cut too short. And so that's why I think it's lacking. A lot of people are saying that this season isn't as good as the first season, because at least the first season had longer episodes. So I think that, them doing that, I think Gunn has overextended himself by doing Superman, the film, and then doing Creature Commandos, and now working on Supergirl along, and then also working on Superman, Man of Tomorrow. I feel that he's taken on too much, and that's why he wasn't able to focus enough on this season to give it a better and proper send out, of a season versus how he was able to do that with the first season. Because he wasn't ahead of the studio. So you could definitely feel that this season, it definitely is nowhere to the level of the first season. But I do think there were some things in this season that were so much funner and more entertaining than the first season. So still, I think that this episode overall is probably my least favorite out of the season. And I just think it could have done so much better. And could have been so good. But at least we got some action in this episode, some comedy a little bit that was funny, that I think worked out. But overall, this ending I thought was pretty lackluster, and it could have just been so much better.
Okay, sir, most definitely. Andre's the pop culture guy, sir. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of with Cyber here. I thought I was very I kind of knew Chris. I think Chris has changed over last season, which is good. I like we're consistent about that. So I was very happy to see that Chris was going to do anything for his friends. I mean, we saw that was it like last week or episode ago that he told them that here, take this portal thing and you can get your jobs back. And so I like that he still did it. So no matter what happened. So it was really cool, and I, again, reiterate my thoughts. It didn't feel like a penultimate episode to lead to your finale. Like it felt like we were just in another week of an episode, and I kind of agree with Saver as this episode, just 32 episodes. I like it was a very good structure episode, but like they could have done more. This episode, it could be cool to seeing the other side going into the dimension, the quantum door, and going to that room and they have a shootout in that. That could have been cool and awesome, and the alien creature we've been seeing in and out in that. Come on, he could come in and eat them, give me something, right? Right now, I definitely agree. This is my least favorite episode, just because I was just shocked how short it was, and it felt like, it didn't lead us to where we're gonna go for this finale. I'm curious how the finale is gonna stick with the landing. I hope the finale next week will be long, at least 50 or 48 minutes. I'm not saying an hour long, but be much longer than these last few episodes we have to review. And hopefully it wraps up the storyline, all that, for this season. I kind of agree with Saber there. I think it seems like Gunn is, I hope he doesn't get too stretched, because we already saw that with Kevin in the Marvel Studios, and like, I mean, that was more extreme. But like, hopefully, James knows that he cannot be involved heavily in projects. Like, Supergirl is a different story. He's just producing that. We have another creative team doing that movie, which is good. And but he is doing again Superman Man of Tomorrow for 2027. So but yeah, I thought this ending was good. I guess it was funny to see the mom again from Chase Universe. Just look in the door. She could have done something that was like a Transformer thing, like get out of my lawn, you crazy fools, or whatever, But we didn't get that. Yeah, and I didn't touch on this, but it was so weird not to have John Exmouth much in the episode. Like, it was funny that he couldn't lie. Everyone knew he was lying badly. I thought that was very funny. And of course, he was still in the chair. They were dragging him. I didn't bring up my favorite moment from this end of episode was Judah Master. Judah Master did go to the other side, and it was kind of interesting that he kind of tell the he kind of lied for Chris to like vouch for his word. That was a very cool moment. I could see Judah Master joining them later down the road as like a part of that game. Because he has now some connection with the Waller daughter. Like they kind of like good friends, and and he sees that Chris has changed. He saw how emotional he is, and like so he's kind of maybe turn over to another side. But we'll see if we ever see that. As Jess said before, we already dealt with that before. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the ending. Quick and short, which is good, but not for reviewing. And like, if you want to really make me excited for the finale, I hope they like give us a bomb or something like that. I don't know what they have in store, but yeah, whatever. We'll see. Maybe more of that alien creature. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm here. Guess what? I'm very evil," and like I was just feeling the evil machine. Like I'm like, whoa. So you're letting this alien thing to like do like batshit crazy behind the closed doors, and like we didn't know that. That would be a crazy twist. Because I just want to know what's this alien. Like I just saw like last week when the crew was going into that portal door, he had like a squirrel and like he threw it in the furnace. I was like, what the hell? Like you didn't want to eat the squirrel. You just want to. There's a lot of questions. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it.
All right, Michael.
I guess I'm the fanboy here. This is like my favorite episode of the season so far. Like I felt like it had everything. Yeah, I feel like it had everything I wanted in it. It had the action, it had the heart, it had the comedy. Like now, was it like laced with comedy? No, but I felt like it was put in and sprinkled in enough to where like I really enjoyed it. So as far as like we know that Keith is living after, like even after being stabbed and Ely and all this other jazz, like Keith is still alive. So like that's setting up a plot for a future story of some kind, whether it's like Nazi Earth invading, Earth 1 or whatever the case is. Like that's setting up something there, because on top of that, we also know that now that Earth knows about the portal. They have to, and Augie was very adamant about like them not knowing about that portal. So that's leading to the idea of like them invading. You know what I mean? And I think that's like what, since everybody's been speculating, Earth X in the Nazi universe and all that jazz, since like Chris went over there and checked it out, and everybody was noticing there's no people of color over there. And I feel like that's probably like the biggest downfall of this series, is that everybody has focused on the Earth X and the potential and the possibilities of that, when this season 2 is about Chris. Like it's not about, like season 1 was Peacemaker getting that established and all these other characters and things like that. But like this season is about Chris, and like Chris dealing with like his demons and stuff like that. And so, and his like him coming out of that. And so I feel like the finale is going to be a big letdown, honestly, because I think a lot of people are looking for that Earth X connection, that something big happening, and I think we'll get a hint of that. But I also feel like this may be, because James Gunn said a lot about this leading up to like Man of Tomorrow and whatnot like that. So I feel like I think this Earth X stuff may be a lead up to that Man of Tomorrow movie.
Yeah.
So, and I could see that being a huge letdown for a lot of people watching the show. And I could see that actually hurting things. And I hope that's not the case. Because like they were setting up, like, you're talking about Judo Master a second ago, like going to the other side and like vouching for Chris and being like, oh yeah, that's how it went down. And it's almost like he's joining the 11th Street Kids now. You know what I mean? It seems like that team was forming throughout this entire season, especially with like Adebayo, coming closer to Judo Master and her putting in her thing for security and all the other jazz. Like, by the end of the season, I kind of imagine them being a group together and them doing security or something like that together, especially since none of them have any money. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I hope it's not a big letdown to a lot of people out there. I think just remembering, like, I think this season is supposed to be about Chris and not necessarily Earth X may help with that. So.
No, I agree. I know this is a Chris season, especially with the dancing sequence.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Gunn really specifically say that, and I understood that. No, I think you nailed it in the head. Yeah, I understood that, and it now kind of just made me adjust my opinion about this episode a little bit. Because, and if thankfully, unlike Marvel right now with their saga, it's like this will get better, with the next project. So that's the one good thing about this. It's like, this is a new universe, and the next projects are officially in. So it's gonna be fine.
And something else cool is like throughout this season, you've noticed that they've made points to show everybody's relationship with Chris, like making him the center.
Yeah.
Of like it's the awkwardness of him and Hardcore. Like he wants to have a relationship with her, and like she kind of does too, but not so much. How Economos is like on the outskirts, but like still loyal to Chris through the text messages, giving him heads up and stuff like that. You see Adebayo calling, like, Chris is my best friend. Like, we just got that in this episode here. Vigilante has been adamant throughout both series about, like, Peacemaker's my best friend. Like, we even got that. Like, I think we got that the episode before last, when we found out, about it being Nazi Earth.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, there's been so many people talking about their relationship with Chris and how they relate with Chris and how, all that jazz. Now, we didn't really get that with Judo Master, but, maybe we'll get that in the season finale.
Okay. Is that all you have, sir?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, let's do ratings then. So, I'll stick with you, Michael. 1 out of 10. What's your rating for episode 7?
Oh, I'm like an 8.5 to 9 for me. Like I'm on up there. If it was longer, you
gotta pick one, sir. Pick one number.
I'll go 8.5. I'll stick with an 8.5. Because I feel like if it was longer, like it has me in a bind of where like it's leave me wanting more, and so like that's a good thing. But should they have given me that more? Like
Michael. Don't most TV shows out there have at least decent or solid episodes that keep you wanting to watch more, or that kind of
no, exactly. And that's why I think that's why my rating is like an 8.5.
Yeah,
like because like I did enjoy this episode. I did like this episode. Like I thought it was good.
At least to be completely honest with you, I'm just glad that you're not like some of these, people online, these hardcore, Peacemaker DC fans that think they think it's a 10 out of 10 or whatever. And like, I'm not like Cyber. I don't think it was a filler episode, but I certainly don't think that was a 10 out of 10 Peacemaker episode. I've seen better Peacemaker episodes in the past than episode 7. I have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
I know it for a fact. I've seen. Even in season 2, I've seen better episodes than episode 7.
See, for me, this is like my favorite episode. I'm telling you.
You remember episode 5 was great.
Which one was that one?
Was it episode 5, guys, or was it episode 3? That was the one that was a 10 out of 10 for all of us.
Episode 3, because that was when Chris spent more time with Earth 2.
And he's strolling through there. That was a good episode.
Episode 3, yeah. That was a 10 out of 10 for all of us.
That was a good episode. I don't know that I'd give it a 10 for me, but it was good. It was a good episode.
Hey, you know what? There's something, some of us don't like to give out a lot of 10s. You know what I'm saying? That's not a bad thing. It's good to keep it to yourself. Andres, what's your rating?
I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it's a still quality episode. Like, it's really emotional. I agree with Mike. It's a very good Peacemaker episode, but I will never call it as my favorite. I think there's other ones that are stronger contenders.
Yeah.
I agree with Mike. Like, if this was longer, I could have given this an 8 or 8.5 out of 10. But because how short it was like I wanted more out of the story, and there was more potential you could do with it. But I liked it. It wrapped up everything. Like, it wrapped up the Earth 2 storyline for now, but like it left it open with, because of what was going on with Keith. I'm very curious about that, and
well, he survived, obviously.
Yeah, he survived. So I'm very curious if we're going to see him again, the finale, or...
If you haven't noticed in the show Peacemaker, a lot of motherfuckers seem to be able to get stabbed and shot and all that shit, and they somehow live. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, well, I mean, he almost got killed, but like he survived from the last minute of the cops and his arc.
Characters in Peacemaker just seem to like heal or whatever, or like bounce back from like really horrible injuries and shit. So,
well, I mean, not really. At least they get care. Like Judo Master needed like medical care, which he got from the crew during
motherfucker. I've seen Judo Master get tossed into a tree and have his back broken or whatever.
That was this season. Yeah, of course.
And he got back up with no medical treatment or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And just kept on going.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's a TV thing, Jeff. Just calm yourself, okay? It's a TV thing. Nothing is going to be realistic, sir. Anyway, that's my thoughts.
Economos hit him with a fucking tire iron like 25 times, bro, to the same spot of his fucking head. Do you know in real life what would happen to a person if somebody took a tire iron to their head that many times?
Well, first
ask Jason Todd.
Yeah, Jason Todd. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Like he could easily get killed, but remember he was wearing a suit during that time, so he was at least protected. But I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry, sir. I don't think Judo Master's uniform gives him a lot of protection.
Yeah, I don't know like how powerful the suit is, but yeah. 7.5 out of 10. I just wish it was more longer, but it was a good like wrap up of like the storylines we got for this season. And I agree with Mike. It's a really good episode. It's just like I wanted more. That's all.
I'm gonna give it a 7 because it's too short. Simple as that. It's too short. You can't make a really perfect, excellent episode of this show in 32 minutes. That's my.
Sometimes it may be good. Sometimes it may be shit.
Exactly. There you go. So, Cyber, what's your rating for episode 7 of Peacemaker season 2, sir?
I give it a 5.
Yes, that is
5 is not a horrible rating because on a 1 through 10 scale, a 5, you know what I'm saying, is like a C+, essentially, right? You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. So, a C+ is not a bad grade. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when I was in school, if I got a C+ on certain tests and certain classes, I was not unhappy with that. You know what I mean? I was okay with that premise. So, all right, guys. Since we're only an hour and 13 minutes in, we're going to be done here pretty short tonight. I guess I'll throw one bonus question at you guys real quick. So just real quick, what are you guys' thoughts on kind of, we're covering Marvel Zombies right now on Wednesday night. And, right now, I'm seeing fans online asking these questions like, when is why haven't they made Shang-Chi 2 yet? I saw some asshole actually ask yesterday, do people think that they're going to make a second season of Ironheart? Which I was like, bro, are you fucking insane? Anyways, other people are asking, are we going to get a second season of Moon Knight? Basically we're only getting, 3 MCU films in the next 2 years. That's all, right? And the only live action Disney Plus series now that are coming out in the next 2 years are Daredevil, Born Again season 2 and 3, and the Vision Quest show, right? And then Wonder Man in December. But that's it. That's all the live action shows that are going to be coming out. So what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on, the state of the MCU through the prism of the fact that that's literally where we're at now in terms of how much content they're going to release in the next, 2-3 years compared to, what we're used to. Even in phase 4 and phase 5, we were still getting regular TV shows, what I'm saying? Getting movies, 3 or 4 movies a year. What do you think about this new, environment for the MCU, of having all these, fewer projects? And I'll go to you first, Michael, since you are making your first guest appearance with us.
As far as the few projects coming, I'm honestly not hating that at all. Like it kind of becomes taxing when there's so many coming at you at one time. I do wish that the caliber of TV shows would be better because, like, I don't know how interested I am in Vision Quest, Wonder Man. Like, I'm gonna watch it and we're gonna review it, but like, I don't know necessarily like how interested I am in Wonder Man.
Supposedly, some people who have already seen it have said it might be okay.
I saw those as well, saying it was good. It was one of the best ones, and hey, I hope it is. I hope everything that comes out is a banger. Now, good and damn well it's not going to be. Like, but I hope everything comes out is quality and it's fantastic. But
we're all afraid and like nervous about Wonder Man, bro.
Same.
Ask Cyber, ask Andres, like, you know what I'm saying?
Same.
What?
Yeah, because man, I don't know. I think it's just let's get to Secret Wars. Like, that's honestly the mindset of Marvel, and honestly, I'm not hating them for that. Like, let's get the Secret Wars. Let's start, introducing X-Men.
Yeah, but how do we even know that that's even gonna be done right and like pulled off, correctly and everything, at this point? Like, do we even know? Can we be confident with Marvel Studios at this point, based off of the track record in the last couple of years, that they're even capable of putting together what we're used to Avengers level movie films?
Yeah, I think that because, Marvel did a bad job of setting up, like, Shang-Chi and Yelena Belova and characters like that. Well, Yelena, I'll give that a pass because, like, I think they did a good job with her. But there's several Avengers. Sam Wilson, whatever. Like, a lot of these characters, I don't think they did a good job of, like, actually setting up and putting them in that spot to take over. And so
they did a good job. They did a good job with Sam, getting him ready, getting him set up with the limited. They gave him a lot of opportunities and put him in a lot of films. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They gave him a lot of opportunities. I just don't know that they necessarily did what was right for the character for him. Because
that's a different question.
Right. Yeah. Like Falcon Winter Soldier, I could be without that, but I really liked Brave New World. I really enjoyed that movie. I really did. And but like, I think. I do have faith in the Russos. I think they put out good work. And I do think they're getting a lot of like actors back that they've done really good work with before. And so like that is probably like the glimmer of hope that I have for these movies coming up. So
it's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be mostly new people that they're gonna be working with for the most part.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, what do you think, Cyber? What are your I haven't asked you about the MCU in a while. What are your current thoughts on the MCU, especially in terms of like, how we're only getting these very limited amount of projects in the next 2 or 3 years that they have officially they're coming out?
Well, I mean, basically where my head is at with the MCU is, I'm disappointed in, how limited they're putting out stuff now because they feel they need to do quality versus quantity. So, being used to 3 films a year, when you go down to 2 or 1, it kind of stinks because you are expecting to have that great MCU feel. And, ever since, Avengers Endgame came out, unfortunately, the MCU has not been the same because it just hasn't been at that same caliber level. And so, with, the few movies that are coming out in the next 2 years, between the 2 Avenger films, Spider-Man 4, and whatever else they're going to
That's it.
Pretty much right now. It's too bad because they have so much potential to reinvent it. And with what they put out in the last, 4 or 5 years now, since 2021, I would say, there have been some goods, there's been some bads, and unfortunately they haven't hit that great stride again. And there's a lot of storylines that they should have completed before they moved on to other stuff. So, kind of like with the Doctor Strange thing, we got Doctor Strange 1 in 2016, and then we had to wait 6 years before we got Doctor Strange 2. Same thing with Shang-Chi. It's been 4 years since Shang-Chi 1 came out.
I don't think that they want to make that film, the sequel.
They keep talking about that they're doing it, but who knows when we'll get it. Shang-Chi was probably one of the most profitable of the films that came out in 2021.
It was profitable, yeah.
It's Eternals, bombed, and Black Widow did okay, but
Black Widow might have honestly been the best fucking movie that came out in Phase 4. Be honest.
No, I don't agree. I think Shang-Chi was better. Shang-Chi is a phenomenal film. So them, taking something that they could have really banked on, especially because so many people love Simu Liu.
I don't know why you're clapping, Andres. You love Black Widow.
My number one MCU film is Shang-Chi, so I'm very happy to hear Cyber loves that.
Wow.
Yeah, but I've heard you vocally say and applaud and say that you think that the Black Widow film is a really good movie. So I
like Black Widow, but it's not my personal favorite of the MCU.
I know you really like Shang-Chi. I know, that's why we reviewed it, didn't we, over on your channel?
Yeah, and Black Widow.
All right, Cyber. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
But anyways, so where the state of the MCU is right now, it's very disappointing, and I'm hoping that, with Avengers, Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday, they will put themselves back on the map again, especially with the Russos coming back, them putting their input into it and all that kind of stuff. I think is really what has, will bring back kind of that great fan base that we lost when we got Avengers Endgame in 2019. And I think that, they already have the great, thought process of how to make a good film. But at the same time, if we don't have the same writers that we had in those first 5 phases,
I think they brought back the same writers that did Endgame and Infinity War.
Hence why I think that right there is going to show that those 2 Avenger films are going to be the best films.
I forget their names, but the same guys who wrote the Captain America films. Steve
McFreely, and I forget what the other guy's name is.
Yeah, they signed them up.
Yep. So that right there, bringing back characters that we've already loved and have cherished, bringing them back too is a big plus too. So there's a lot of good going into these two Avenger films that have a lot of great positives. But like you said, it could go to crap. You never know, because of just how crap we've had in the last 4 years. I have optimism, but at the same time, I'm not going to allow myself to have super high hopes to be let down if those don't pan out.
I just think there's variables out there, like any film, and it's a big task to make an Avengers film. Ask Joss Whedon, ask the Russo brothers, right? The Russo brothers have talked about the toll it took on them, to make Infinity War and Endgame. Like how it really affected their health and all that shit. It's a big deal, and things like how well you pair the different characters together, so and how well they mesh on screen, and how well those decisions are made, the writing, how they structure the films, with all those different characters, how you juggle them on screen. There's just a lot of variables that they have to be successful at or do well. That's all, but the fact that they brought back the same main people, the writers and the directors, I think is a big deal. Cyber, you're right. Cyber, what do you think about Daredevil season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, which will be coming out here pretty soon? now that, you know, it won't be all chopped up like season 1 was?
I have high hopes for season 2. I have high hopes for it. I liked season 1. I didn't think it was as bad as everyone made it out to be. I enjoyed it. I thought it had a good storyline. I thought that it had a lot of great parts to it. It definitely had stuff that, you know, could have been better, but overall, I think that it was very decent show. And so I think that, you know, with the same people, they can bring back and make a great second season. So I have very high hopes for it. I think it will be good.
And what is your excitement level for Wonder Man, sir, in December? Is one out of 10?
I'll give it a 5 at this moment. It could go either way. It could be crap or it could be good. Who knows? The fact that, you know, Wonder Man once again is being you know, swapped. You know,
race swap,
kind of stinks. But at the same time, you know, that the gentleman that they have playing Wonder Man played Black Manta fantastically.
Yeah, he did.
So I don't know how he'll do as a good guy. I don't know how that'll play out because he's really good at playing villains. So I have hopes for it, but at the same time, I could be let down. So I want to put it at a 5 at this moment until I see it, and hopefully it will come out better than we're expecting. Because from the first trailer that we saw, it didn't look like anything that was ultra fantastic. It looked like it was along the lines of like how they did Agatha all along, and then of course, you know, kind of the She-Hulk, how that turned out. You know, I still feel we still are going to be getting stuff that are still a part of that.
Hey, there's still people out. There's still assholes out there that want a season 2 of She-Hulk, man.
Yes,
you should go. You should, I bump into some of them online, Cyber. You should see the wonderful conversations we have.
I'm sure they're great.
You know?
But yeah, so I'm neutral right now on Wonder Man.
Okay, I'm pretty neutral on Wonder Man too. I'm pretty neutral on every fucking Marvel Disney Plus show that we come across now at this point, to be honest with you. And I have been feeling that way for a long time. It ain't new. You know what I'm saying? You know, except for Daredevil Born Again. You know, although as Cyber already said, I didn't know there was a lot of people that felt that way, Cyber, but I was one person that when we reviewed Daredevil Born Again, I was down a little bit on the show, and felt like it wasn't quite what it could have been. You know, but that's just my personal opinion. You know, I'm not saying it was a terrible show. I just didn't think that it was up to the same par as the Netflix Daredevil show, and that's what I wanted to see, was that level of show. You know, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole other show. Andre, sir, what are your thoughts? I know you've been dying to talk about the MCU. So go ahead.
DC guy, but anyway, but I'm a Marvel guy too. I guess. But anyway, I kind of agree with Cyber's point. I mean, look, the world right now is just like in terms of Hollywood and movies is up in the air. Like we don't know how these new Avengers movies going to perform, you know, and. Like,
that's a very good point, sir. The movie industry right now and everything is totally like all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I agree with Cyber. Like, I'm keeping my expectation very like neutral. Like, if it's gonna be disappointing, it's gonna be disappointing. If they nailed it, okay, I'll like it. And there's things they're going for that people are excited for. You know, there is a curiosity of like, how is this new version of Doom's gonna be? You know, all that. In terms, like, I think Marvel Studios have done a good job of like course creating. Like, at least the last 2 movies we had were good movies. I mean,
hey, if you're gonna pick 3 movies if you're gonna pick 3 movies to have a 3-movie 2-year period or whatever, you know, for the fans, you really can't go wrong with 2 Avengers movies and a Spider-Man movie, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a good decision. They're not putting too much movies in between those. I think it's the right move. You know, because I like what other movie that makes sense to fit into those movies? It doesn't make sense, so it makes sense to have that, right?
Well, technically there are people in the fandom that are wondering why we aren't getting the Doctor Strange 3 movie, Shang-Chi 2, like there are a lot of fans out there that still, of the MCU fans that are left that are still wondering, why those films aren't getting squeezed into that schedule,
Yeah, and unfortunately, well, I know we don't talk about movie news, but I know Disney got rid of one of the Marvel dates for another Disney.
They did, yes, they did. They pulled it.
Yeah, so I agree with the statement, especially Doctor Strange 3, because that left into a Pacific multiverse thing, the convergence. If you know your Marvel stuff, right? And I'm surprised they haven't got to that point, and that's been a big issue with the multiple sagas.
And they brought Charlize Theron to be in it.
Clea, which is crazy.
I mean, Charlize Theron's getting older, but she's still Charlize Theron.
Oh my gosh, she still looks good. I mean, she's very beautiful and great actress. But yeah, so I think right now they're in a good recoursing with their product. I think their last two movies was very good. I mean, Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four were good movies. I like them. I mean, Thunderbolts is my favorite this year, and I thought Fantastic Four was the Fantastic Four movie we're waiting for, which was good. The shows is up in the air right now. I think Wonder Man will be the first to really see the recourse.
What do you think about that guy that was asking online if people think that Ironheart will get a season 2?
That's not gonna happen. We already discussed that. I don't want to discuss it anymore. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, but it didn't do well.
It's like all the Marvel Disney Plus shows have only been made for one season, right? This motherfucker comes out of nowhere all of a sudden. Is out of all the TV shows out there, and is like, do you think there'll be another second season for Ironheart? Oh my god, bro!
I know. It's not gonna happen. I can see just a one shot or something like that, but I don't know. That's not gonna happen. But
they buried the fucking TV show for 3 years before they finally released it, so they could turn around and make another season.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very optimistic with Wonder Man. I'm excited for that one because that has good cast. They're bringing a new character that's very major in the Avengers comics.
It's an interesting story. He's an actor who's a superhero,
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it has the creative. First off, Destin Daniel Cretton is involved with this, which is good. The showrunner that he's with did Hawkeye. I thought, Hawkeye was actually the top, Disney Plus shows.
Destin Daniel Cretton is all he ever did is Shang-Chi, right?
Well, but then he was supposed to write the first, the Avengers movie, but then he was
supposed to write Kang Dynasty, and then they changed it. Yeah. That's all he's ever really done is Shang-Chi. So I don't think, honestly, I'm sorry, but I don't think that makes him some kind of genius now or something like that. I know you guys love Shang-Chi, but honestly, Shang-Chi is just an okay movie.
But him and Ryan, and then who's the other fella? The guy who did Thunderbolts are coming back for another projects of Marvel. That shows that they trust them. So
I can't remember. I can't because now that we don't cover MCU all the time, I forget the names of these people. So I can't remember who it was that did Thunderbolts.
Yeah, he did a great job with that. He's getting the X-Men movie. So again, I think Destin Daniel Cretton is a good director. I think he has something with Wonder Man.
They officially said he's gonna do the first X-Men movie.
Yeah, it's official. So so I'm confident with that.
I wasn't aware that Marvel Studios officially announced that there's gonna be an X-Men movie coming out at some point.
It's after this saga. They're hoping to release it either 2028 or something like that. They haven't confirmed that. They're just saying they want it out after the saga is done. But getting to the TV stuff, I'm excited for Vision Quest. I really want to wrap up that loose thread, and then
if they try to make it into a Young Avengers show, it might not be very good.
Yeah. I mean, at this moment right now, it doesn't look like it.
In the comics, Vision Quest is a Young Avengers storyline.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I think I remember we discussed that. Yeah, but I think it's just they're using that name for this just totally different show they're making, because this is bringing back Ultron. They're bringing the guy.
Yeah, that's all. That's right. They're bringing back Ultron. Yep.
Yeah, and they're bringing up the guy from the 10 Rings from the first Iron Man movie. That's interesting. The one that got killed by Stain.
Watch will end up just being a version of Ultron where it's like the android Bishop in Alien 3, where it's just half of him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all that's left or whatever. You know, he's like all beat up and shit or whatever. Like that's the Ultron we get.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for this one. So far, I've been very intrigued. And Daredevil Born Again season 2, I'm definitely excited for. I thought the first season was decent. They could have been more improvement, but I think they were in the right path towards the end of that season. So
I think Karen's actually going to be in the whole season in season 2, and Jessica Jones is going to be there.
That's the exciting part for season 2. It's Jessica Jones, so I'm excited for that. So season 2 it's shaping up to be a good season. That's all I'd say. I think
I think if there was ever a time for Marvel Studios to go all out and say fuck it with their fucking mature content or whatever, they should have Jessica Jones go naked, you know, because she was a big slut in her show on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like having sex and shit like that on the show. You know?
Okay. First off, we already saw a naked person in Attica. Attica, we saw her naked, sir, in the first episode. So we already had that already.
Yeah, but I try to forget about that, sir, because that wasn't
good one. That's my thoughts. I think they're in a good shape, Marvel Studios. I don't have the problem. Like, I don't want them to have too many content, because I think it's good to have quality over quantity.
I've heard you make this like go on. I've heard you talk about this before in the past, sir. I know how you feel about the lesser projects thing. You know, I disagree with you. I think that, just like Cyber said, I think as fans, the ones of us that are left that are still hanging in there loyally with the MCU, we kind of deserve 3 films a year at least. You know, like you know what I'm saying? That's what we're used to. We're used to 3 or 4 movies a year. That's a lot. That's a lot to take take us down to 3 movies in 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but at the same time, like it makes it more
that eliminates the entire sensation that you normally have as a fan, where every 3 or 4 months, like internally, that you're going to get to watch a Marvel movie. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's gone at that point.
Well, that's already gone now. Like, you need to be like an event or special. Like, the reason that last year Deadpool 3 Wolverine did well is because it was the only superhero film.
The only one, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's, for me, it works better because we're in a different time now, as I said before.
Because it certainly wasn't better than Deadpool 1, and Deadpool 1 didn't make $1 billion.
Mm-hmm. So again, I understand. I'm fine with having 3 movies, but at the same time, it hurts the TV shows, because we noticed that with Marvel, when the movie was coming out, they didn't promote their TV show like heavily. I mean, of course, that was a different situation because some of the shows were not good. So I just hope right now is that I think Marvel Studios is in the right course correction in their studios. They are doing that. Like, at least we got decent content right now, and it's better than what we got with Phase 5. So
I sadly I don't like seeing all the shows go away, because I always saw the Marvel TV shows as outlets for Marvel to be able to introduce new characters or give their movie characters a chance to be in something else occasionally. You know what I'm saying? Just to give us an appearance. You know, like Yelena Belova. And Hawkeye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hawkeye gave Yelena Belova an outlet. You know what I'm saying? Between Black Widow and Thunderbolts, to make an appearance in the MCU. You know what I mean? Which helps helps with the connectivity, that we all, love about Marvel and the MCU, right?
Yeah. I agree. That's why I'm excited for Vision Quest, because we finally get one of the Avengers that we know, besides this new superhero. So, like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
I just don't think Disney wants to continue paying out that much money on budgets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's...
for TV shows that come out and end up being mediocre, like Secret Invasion and shit like that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's all I wanted to ask you guys about. That is the end of our Peacemaker episode 7, season 2 recap and breakdown. Much appreciation to all the guys in the guest panel tonight. Thanks for coming on with us, Michael. Good job, Cyber. Andre's a pop culture guy. we're going to go ahead and do our plugs, which if you're catching us in audio form, you unfortunately will not get to experience, much of plugs, but just bear with us. Cyber, I will start with you, sir.
All right, folks, if you enjoy me on the panel or enjoy me as a moderator on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, you can find me underneath Cyberneticshark on my solo content. You'll find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, pretty much anywhere there is a platform, you will find Cyberneticshark. If you haven't seen my 2 recent reviews, you can check out my Conjuring The Last Rites review and the Toxic Avenger Unrated review. If you haven't checked those out, give them a whirl. Really fun reviews to be done. Also, I'll be having more stuff up for you guys soon. I went and saw a couple new movies recently, so I still have to film those reviews and get those out for you guys. But I will eventually have them up for you guys. One battle after another, and of course the new film, The Long Walk, as well. So keep your eyes up for that. You can find my mini reviews of those 2 films under my short content. If you want to check out the short content too as well, those are my 2 most recent mini reviews. Check those out. And as always, thank you all for subscribing. All those that are subscribers, you guys are rocking it. Keep on helping us to grow them and make us the best we can be for you guys and entertain you guys. We appreciate you, and rock on.
Cyber, I'll tell you right now, sir, I was not at my best on Marvel Zombies episode 1 Wednesday night. It was quite obvious that I must have had a hard time kind of focusing on the episode that I watched, because I had very little to offer, sir, contribution-wise, on that recap. It was definitely not my A game, sir. But hopefully I bounce back this week. I bounced back on Peacemaker. I did a better job tonight. All right. Comically Comics Podcast. Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, if you like my viewpoints or whatever else, come join me on the Comically Comics Podcast. We're on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all podcasters. We got a YouTube channel as well, so check us out over there. We do everything with comic books to movies, TV shows, comic books themselves, reviews of all that kind of stuff, video games, all that other jazz. Great time, and we have a great time doing it. Real fun, so I think y'all all enjoy it. If you enjoy this one, you can check my solo projects out on YouTube as well under 22 Comics. So you can find me on Instagram, eBay, and Shortbox. You can also find the Comically Comics Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and X. So check us out.
All right, short and sweet,
as always.
just like me earlier with my friend, right, Michael?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just a pop culture guy, sir.
Hello, everyone. This is Andre, Pop Culture Guy. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Mike, it was good to talk to you. It was great to meet you tonight. It was a blast. So recently, I posted today my latest top 10 moments. It's on Sidney Prescott, because today was the actress' birthday. So you can check out what's the top favorite moments from her 5 appearance of the screen films. Plus, I posted my part 3 Shadow/Batman comic read. You can check that out. Plus, my start of the horror season, I did my top 6 the monkey kill moments. You can check that out from this year's horror Stephen King film by Osgood Perkins. And plus, new shorts, I have my review of the monkey as well. You can check that out. Plus, yesterday I posted the short scene from the American Werewolf in London transformation. Check that out. That's doing very well. No live streams this week, but in the coming weeks will be a new one. So thank you, everyone, for this awesome tonight. Please support me, Cyber, and Comedy Podcast as well. Increase our reviews and / subscriptions. Thank you so much.
All right, you heard the man. We are out of here, folks. We appreciate all of you out there that catch us, either whether it's digitally or in audio form. If you do catch us in audio form, please consider following and rating the MCU'S Bleeding Edge podcast. And besides that, we will see you again, at least Andres and I will see you again for us on Monday evening for Daryl Dixon, Book of Carol, episode 5, I believe.
Yeah, episode 5.
So till then, later on. Peace.